With Nvidia's RTX 3080 having absolutely unprecedented demand worldwide, Newegg even said that it was more demand than on Black Friday. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. So now the question is, does it make a little bit more sense than before to buy a custom-built computer with a 3080, maybe from a company like Maingear, rather than build yourself? Who knows what availability is going to be like the next few months. So let's discuss this very topic and let's see what we can come up with. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Remember to subscribe, makes me very happy, helps us grow the channel. Smash that like button, leave a comment below. Have you considered maybe buying a custom built computer more than you otherwise would in the past? I know if you're anything like me, you were clicking, refreshing, trying to get Nvidia's 3080 GPU. That GPU has gotten absolutely amazing reviews and benchmarks. The hype for it was definitely substantial, and after the reviews came out, it pretty much confirmed that this is one of the greatest GPU releases pretty much in modern computing history. So it's no surprise that the demand was absolutely unprecedented. And it basically comes down to it having a very reasonable price at $699, especially the Founders Edition, and the performance being absolutely off the wall bonkers. It performs considerably better than last generation's flagship, the 2080 Ti. In a lot of games, you'll see even like a 30% jump. So if you're anything like me, I'm sure you were going through as many websites as possible, trying to see if you can find an RTX 3080 in stock. I'm sure you've checked on Amazon, Newegg, your local Microcenter. I even know I walked into my local Best Buy knowing very well I wasn't going to find anything. By my local Best Buy, let's see if I can get lucky with an RTX 3080. But I asked the guy anyway, and he knew exactly what I was talking about because I was not the first one that day to ask it. In fact, it was multiple people. And as I was looking around, I thought, you know what place may have these GPUs? It's going to be a little bit of a different story, of course. Maybe a system integrator, something like Maingear. They build custom computers, and generally I know they're going to have a really good relationship with Nvidia, so I'm sure they're probably getting priority on a lot of GPUs. Now, of course, this isn't going to be a simple question and simple discussion. You have to ask yourself if you definitely need an entire new computer. A lot of people actually do. A lot of people were planning to actually upgrade their CPU and motherboard anyway. If you guys have seen some of my recent videos on the 3080 release, a lot of it talks about CPU bottlenecking. A lot of people have older systems and they were looking to upgrade anyway, especially considering that the 3080 is a little bit more reasonably priced, giving them a little bit more room in their budget to be able to maybe get a new motherboard, a new CPU. If you want a 3080, I think it might be a good idea to look at a company like Maingear. Now, there are many custom PC builders and system integrators out there. I mentioned Maingear specifically just because I've had such good experiences with them in the past. So I bought their special launch edition laptop. Absolutely love it to this day. They were nice enough to even sign the special case that it came in. It came in like one of those special, almost like Pelican cases. I still have the signed case. The whole team signed it, including the CEO. So that was definitely an exceptional experience. Like I got one of their previous generation Maingear vibes. Something that's really cool. They're really into the DIY enthusiast community. If you guys go into Microcenter, you're going to see that they're full of stuff there. In fact, even behind me here, it's a little hard to see, but I even have their special gaming extra large mouse mat. They have a gaming chair that's really awesome. They even sell the cases separately, like the Maingear Vibe, if you want to build in it yourself. And they also sell you the water block that fits perfectly in it. So that shows you that Maingear is a very different system integrator. They're not like the ones you're going to find at Best Buy or the ones that are, really no care have been put into them. If you look at some of their systems, look at some of the recent ones like the F131 as well as their recent Turbo. I believe that was even on Linus Tech Tips recently. The design and the craftsmanship is absolutely amazing. I love building my own computers. I love doing all the custom water cooling stuff. And while I definitely love building my own custom water cooling systems and doing a lot of the work myself, I don't think that I could do as nice a job as they do on some of these systems. I know how hard it is, especially on some of these smaller systems, to get all of those intricate bends and make the fittings work really well. And aesthetically, they just really do a fantastic job. So that's why I can actually personally vouch for them. They're also located not too far from where I live, so that's pretty cool that they're fairly local. So they really know what's up in the enthusiast market, as well as handling the most advanced building techniques in water cooling and just straight up cool workstation and gaming computers. So now we come down to the important question. what would be the benefits of actually getting a system with an RTX 3080 from someone like Maingear? Well, let's tackle the first point that we're asking this question in the first place. That's going to be the availability. As you all know, the RTX 3080 is extremely hard to find, and we don't really know what the stock is going to be like in the coming weeks. And now this can present a very unique situation for a lot of people, because this year we had massive lockdowns. People were staying home more often than normal. They had to either get a new system, upgrade their system, and also because of that, a lot of people were kind of putting off getting a 20 series GPU just because they knew the 30 series was imminent. And now that this launch basically instantly sold out, a lot of those people are sort of questioning what they do. Maybe they might need a computer, maybe they really needed an upgrade. So I think, at least for the first point, it makes a lot of sense to look at a system integrator. I know that even me, I really wanted a 3080, so I even thought maybe I'll just sell my current system with my 2080 Ti and put that money into getting the system like from Maingear. So it's actually something I considered myself just to get a 3080. So that shows you that it's definitely a very possible path that you can take. A second point is something that's always been valid when you're choosing between a custom built PC and building it yourself. Some people just aren't comfortable building it themselves. As much as we talk about building PCs on the channel, if you look at some of my past videos, I've done dozens of different water-cooled builds, some very complicated, some a little bit more simple. So I know firsthand the difficulty that goes into building some of these systems. Even when you're building a simple system with an AIO or even an air cooler, I've had issues that I've had to diagnose for like half the day, that something wasn't working with the motherboard or this or that. So I guess one benefit is if somebody's not completely comfortable or is not really going to take too much enjoyment in actually building their own computer, that's definitely a person that's a pretty good candidate to sort of go for a custom built computer like this, especially considering the fact you may be able to get an RTX 3080 considerably faster. Because if you place an order through a custom PC, at least your spot is kind of reserved in line. And I think these system integrators, like I said before, they're going to have a much more direct relationship with Nvidia. So it's much more likely they're going to be able to get GPUs at a much faster rate than we can get it as an individual consumers. So a third point to talk about is cost. And this cost is something people talk about all the time when they're comparing building their own to getting a custom built computer. And of course, for the most part, getting a custom built computer is definitely going to add on a few dollars compared to if you were building it yourself. But you can't just look at it from purely the number standpoint. You have to look in all of the extra benefits that you're getting. In this case, a possibility of getting an RTX 3080 considerably faster. You have somebody else who's very professional build the computer for you. You're going to get some of the most beautiful water-cooled builds I've ever seen with some crazy craftsmanship, some really nice, unique case designs that you generally can't find anywhere outside of Maingear. Like, look at their new turbo system. That's definitely pretty impressive. Their F131 system as well. Those are PCs that are absolutely drool-worthy. And then of course you get all the other stuff that goes with it as well, like support and help with your system. I know that I personally like tinkering with systems a lot. So even when I get a pre-built system, I end up sort of tinkering with it, changing different things, learning about fan curves, upgrading parts. Just because you bought a custom PC doesn't mean that in the future, maybe if you want to upgrade it, you can tinker with it. You can do whatever you want. You can take time to learn how to build your own computer, take it apart. In fact, the first Maingear Vibe that I got a few years ago, one of the things that I did with it, I took the entire computer apart, I put it back together, trying to do really nice cable management. So just because it's a custom built PC doesn't mean that sometime in the future you may not want to take it apart to learn it yourself. And of course, a company like Maingear is going to use the same high quality components that you could buy yourself at like Microcenter, you know, enthusiast grade parts. They're not going to use some like weird motherboard or power supply that's proprietary. Everything in there is pretty much what an enthusiast will go out and buy. And of course, even some of the custom water-cooled parts they now sell at Microcenter too, so I always thought that was pretty cool, like I mentioned before. So in general, if you get a custom built computer, yeah, you're going to be paying a couple dollars more than if you were perhaps building it yourself. But then you have to weigh those pluses and minuses. It's not like you're paying extra for nothing. You're getting support. You're getting a professionally built system. So there are definitely a lot of things I've even thought of after building so many custom and water-cooled computers. Sometimes even I need a little bit of a break, even though I have a lot of fun with it. Sometimes it does get frustrating having to fix all these little issues and stuff comes up all the time. So at least if somebody else built it and somebody else gives you the support, it's one less thing you have to worry about if you got other things in your life to worry about, because it can be time consuming. It's a lot of fun, but definitely custom computers, if you build them yourself, can take up a lot of time. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just basically an idea that I had as I was looking for an RTX 3080 in various different places. I thought, well, these system integrators seem to have it in stock. Now, in terms of availability and shipping times, that's something I have no idea. You would have to ask them. But I'm just going by the notion that, especially a company like Maingear, they're going to have a much faster and more direct relationship with Nvidia. So I'm sure the systems that are gotten through them are going to get a lot more priority. And then at least you know sort of a better time frame. Because as it is right now, we really don't know when more RTX 3080s are coming. I mean, sporadically, they may start to come in different stores as the weeks and the months go by. It's definitely unprecedented demand. So as soon as more hit the market, you can bet that they're going to be sold out almost instantly and perpetually, at least for the foreseeable future. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment below. I really want to know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next video.